The Au Pairs is one of my favorite books to write because I just love the characters so much and they're just so much fun to write and they get into all these scrapes and trouble and everything always ends up happily, so it's really fun. The Au Pairs was inspired by the summers that my husband and I spent in the Hamptons. We were on Shelter Island for a long time. And in the Hamptons, there was kind of this hot nanny culture. The hot au pairs always were the ones having the most fun. They were nannies by day, party girls at night. And, all the boys were obsessed with dating them. They were the cutest girls. And I thought, oh, that would make such a fun teen novel. And, because they were really living quite the high life. They were at the Star Room, dating celebrities, and also looking after children. And in Sunkissed, they ruled the Hamptons. In this book, Eliza has her own fashion line. She's got opening, she's got a runway show. Jackie's being chased by three, young billionaires from Harvard who have their own website. And Mare and Ryan are living on a yacht, doing that whole love boat thing. And they're having a lot of fun. So the book is kind of a culmination of them being on top of the Hampton social scene. And what happens? Do they get down from it or or do they continue? The latest Au Pairs book is called Crazy Hot, and it is just so fun. I think it's one of the best, if not the best, Au Pairs yet. We have Mara and Ryan with their star-crossed love. Mara's got her new intellectual boyfriend, David. She's over Ryan, but then Ryan's back on the scene, so what happens? And Eliza and Jeremy are together, and Jeremy actually proposes. So is it icebergs ahead? He gives her a big rock. And Jackie has two saucy Aussie photographers on her tail. She's always got too many boys and too little time. The voice for writing for teens comes very easy to me. When I started writing the Au Pairs, it was kind of a revelation. I was like, oh, this is really great. I can really do this. What I think is difficult for me is I don't really write thinking about who's reading it. I write it for myself. So what's difficult is trying to figure out what is age appropriate and making sure that the books, maybe don't go too far because I do write them thinking that my readers are as old as me or can tell, the subtlety. There is a lot of, kind of fun shopping, but, there's also the message that friendship is the most important thing. And what I want to say in the books is like, it's okay to have fun. It's okay to like just hang out with your friends and not grow up, and have like drama with your boyfriend. Like, this is all just really fun. And I think that's why a lot of kids find it really entertaining. I get a lot of flack sometimes because of all the celebrities and, it's just really good for children to be reading. And I'm like, well, the fact that children are reading is a good thing. And I have a lot of readers who say that they never like to read until they read my books. And, where can they find more books like this? So I definitely want to be entertaining. And when I was a kid, I did not want, kind of explicit messages, and I think that's why Harry Potter is really popular. It's just a kind of a narrative. And, from the story, you learn about friendship and loyalty and, all good moral values. I think the Au Pairs is really like that. I always wanted to be a novelist. I always just wanted to write books, and I really wanted to write the kind of books that a lot of people read. My favorite writers were Amy Tan and Terry McMillan, kind of women's fiction that was very popular, and Stephen King, Anne Rice, these were my favorite writers. But I didn't know how to do that. I wrote a book when I was 22. I wrote my first novel. And I found an agent from getting a book. I sent it out to maybe 20 people, and like three people wrote back. And through that one agent, I met with an editor from Simon Schuster, actually, who said he's not going to buy the book. I had a really good writing style, really good voice, but not quite a plot. And he felt I needed to have a little bit more experience. So he suggested writing for magazines, which was not really a goal of mine. I definitely just wanted books. But I thought, okay, I could try that. He was like, try to write shorter pieces, show editors you've been published. So I started writing for a lot of local New York papers, the New York Press, the Village Voice. And then from there, I started writing for magazines like Marie Claire and Glamour and Harper's Bazaar, Allure. I was in the magazine world for a long time. I also covered fashion shows. I was a nightclub reviewer, actually. That was fun, getting paid to review nightclubs. Getting thrown out of some nightclubs for giving them bad reviews also happened a lot. And then I wrote my first novel when I was 27. It was called Cat's Meow. It was a satire in the fashion world, and that was published by Simon& Schuster. And from there, Simon Schuster asked me if I would be interested in writing for young adults. It kind of took off from there. And I've been writing for about 10 years professionally now. And I went freelance, which means I started writing full time, I think about 6 years ago. So, yes, it's been a long time of writing in my pajamas.